Today is September 19th. The Yankees have lost a series to the Indians. They lost the games. Let's talk about it. Oh, yeah, no music. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Talkin' Yanks, brought to you by DraftKings. My name's Jimmy. His name's Jake. We got BBD in the corner, and we're going to talk all about this series, about the Yankees. They lost 2 games to the Indians. They won 1 game. They got embarrassed with their ace on the mound. They didn't get embarrassed. They embarrassed themselves. Maybe yesterday they got embarrassed. Today they embarrassed themselves. Jake, how you doing?
James, BBD, everyone live in the cat. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, I mean, just 48 hours of baseball punishment. I mean, damn, dude. 11-1, 11-3. Yeah, I mean, no hope. No hope. That's not a poem. Maybe I'll make it into one. It'll just be no hope, comma, no hope.
That's a poem.
That's a poem. Jake Storielli.
I don't know if it's been published, but someone's like carved on a tree.
I just published it.
Yeah, okay.
I just published it. Yeah, man. You know, I was listening to some of this game on the radio, and John Sterling, luckily, was one of the only things that could keep my head up. And the only thing that kind of kept my head up was him talking about Jose Ramirez, because he's like, man, just the way he talked about how good he is as a ball player was fun. Other than that, man, I mean, Cole's getting booed off the mound. Probably lost this Cy Young today. The Yankees, I don't know, man. There's this weird, we expect them to string us along, like they've kind of done that to us. And Sterling, who's seen a lot of baseball, he's like, you know, Susan, I expected the Yankees to very much win this game today. Because that's kind of where I thought we'd land. Like, the Yankees would win this series against Cleveland. It'd be ugly, and then we'd be doing this whole dance like, well, they won the Orioles series. They won the Cleveland series. Like, beat Texas, and then big series against Boston. I mean, half luckily they didn't. Like, they just continue to get embarrassed at the party. They're like constantly, they just like pee their pants a lot.
They're just not good. I mean, I was numb today. Like I said it in my post game reaction. I said I didn't feel a single emotion from this game. So haha, you lost. I think that's how a lot of diehard fans feel. Like, my mom watches every single game. Right. I called her yesterday, said, how you doing? She said, well, just turn that shit off. Don't even want to watch anymore. It's like, yeah. I didn't want to watch today. You've lost me. Because it's not even the play on the field. It's the attitude of the entire team.
Yeah. And the play on the field.
Yeah, but even then, it's just like they're not – no one cares. There's just – I truly don't think anyone cares. I think they are going to chalk this up to an off season, an off year, some tough luck, and some injuries. And it's like, you guys are supposed to be one of the top teams in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, sure, every team runs into injuries and tough luck. You're missing the playoffs. Like, it's unacceptable. We can't win 5 games here, make the wild card, and then say, well, you know what? It was we got to where we needed to be in the end. Like, I am, I think, fully on, those changes we keep making. Like, Boone isn't the guy setting this tone. It's the analytics department. It's the philosophy. Like, it needs to change. Like, you got your 3 years or 3.5 years, and it is not a recipe for success. But I don't think they see that. I think they say, well, we made the playoffs last year, and we made the playoffs this year, and the playoffs are a crapshoot, and you just want to get in. So we've actually had success, and it's like they're changing the standards of the franchise. So I think Boone's managing his last 2 weeks, and if not, I don't really know what the Yankees are about anymore. And I like Boone, and I'm not blaming it on him because it's above him.
Right.
But you can't change the philosophy with the personnel that's here. Even maybe who's ever making the analytics decisions. Like, I'm pretty done with it. I'm not gonna like go WFN and shout and curse and scream or like. And I know it's people's jobs, and that sucks. But yeah, you can't, especially if they miss the playoffs this year. You cannot run this back. You can't.
And that's where, those were a lot of my darker thoughts. So I had I went to New Paltz this weekend. Shout out to all our New Paltz listeners. Cool little town. Hippie vibes, mountain, with a little college twist. SUNY New Paltz there. The #1 doctorate for musical therapy program is at SUNY New Paltz in the U.S. So if you're looking into that, go check it out. But I had like a Truman Show moment. I had someone was playing with my like life is good knob. And it was up to 10. Me, Jess, Noodle, in the hills, having a good time. Hike, we're relaxing, pool, sun is shining, good times. And then the Yankees baseball and getting back today is like a 1, man, and it ties into what you're saying. Oh, the worst traffic ever, like I've ever been in. So
that'll do it. That'll do it to you.
But yeah, man, I don't really know, because what you're saying, like, I kind of hit a World Series or bust moment, which is funny and laughable at this point because nothing the team is giving you is World Series vibe. They're as of right now, they're very much out of the playoffs. I think 2 games back. And, Texas coming in, they've got a big series with Boston. The team could take us on another dance and end up in the 1-game playoff. But you're right. I mean, that still can't be measured as a win at all. Like you mentioned injuries and how baseball works. Sure, the Atlanta Braves lost their 2 best players. They've been without one of their best pitchers. They've been without 2 of their best pitchers throughout the year. They're still going to win the NL East, most likely. The Phillies kind of on their butt, but they've been in it for a while. Man, even if they, and you pretty much said this verbatim last episode, like even if they won the wild card game and they play the ALDS, like there's still you don't baseball that. And I guess the thing that I kind of let it rip on Twitter the other day is that there's no read and react. There's no acknowledgement, and that was like the pain in Susan and John's voice as I was in pain over the bridge, as Jess and Noodle slept and threw up. I'll let you guess which one did which. That they were like, hey, when Velasquez and Odor were playing a lot, that's when the team won, that 35-11 streak. So I know we try to measure every part of baseball, a sport that cannot be completely measured. But, I mean, I'm full, like, kind of what are we doing with our infield right now? Rizzo has to be at first base every day. He's the best defensive first baseman. DJ LeMay.
He's been not great.
He's been not great, but he's like better than Voit. Like, I know he hasn't been otherworldly.
I know, but, like, he's made errors that Voit didn't make all year.
Yeah.
Rizzo, in the grand scheme of things, is the best first baseman. Way better. It's almost like he came and got the we don't give a fuck bug. Because
right.
He's made some plays where I'm like, I'd like to ask a Cubs fan, like, how often are these? Is this normal? Because he's made somewhere like, I'm like, what, dude? I thought you were like, and we're used to seeing Teixeira and Tino, like good first baseman. Like, Rizzo in this stretch hasn't fit that bill.
No, he hasn't been amazing. He's been rubbed off on by the Yankees, quote it. But he's better than Voit. His second base should be DJ LeMahieu. He's won Gold Gloves there. He's a second baseman. That's kind of what we signed him to do. Our third baseman should be Gio Urshela. DJ, I mean, today is the example. He's not a good third baseman. Like, he makes that one kind of cute Olay play where he spins and fires, but outside of that, he's not a third baseman. So you should put Gio at third base because he's a really good third baseman. And I want Velasquez at short, man. And I know some people came out with Tyler Wade, and that's a whole nother argument, and I'm kind of open to it. But even with Glaber hitting a little bit recently, it's not enough for this offense. It's not enough to change 3 important defensive positions. So I'm sorry. Like, I believe in Glaber's career, and I hope this offseason he looks in the mirror and it all comes together and all that. But right now, you're doing your pitching staff a disservice. I could care less that they gave up double-digit runs the past couple days. Garrett Cole's going to finish top 3 in the Cy Young. Don't really care. Yesterday, and throughout, the defense is just bad that the pitching's been so good all year. At a certain point, you have to reward them and give them, hey, your formula to win is pitching and defense, and you hope somebody runs into one. Because that's all you got. Like, right now, Gleyber Torres on offense and changing the whole dynamic of the infield defense, that does nothing for you. So there's just no read and react. I mean, you're kind of right. Like, they believe in numbers over baseball, which, don't get me wrong, numbers can be helpful. But at a certain point, you got to see it and react, and they're just not doing that. So, like, if they just go the rest of the way, burning ship, like, proud as the boat sinks and the band's playing, like, holy crap, man. Yeah, like, that's not the New York Yankees that you, I, BBD, and everyone listening knows.
Exactly. If they just run it out. And Boone, I don't know if Boone's making the lineup, and I know that he's not.
Yeah.
More so than I know that he is. Gleyber got benched a couple times. He got taken out early. Gary got benched a couple times. He's been dismissive of their play more so than he's been in 3 years. And I think Michael Kay had a quote, something like, Boone knows he's not long for it, so he's taking down people with him, like going after Gleyber and Gary and being more open about plays that need to be made and stuff like that. Maybe it's true. Boone, before this game, told Meredith, that it's going to be everything's merit based, and they're gonna play whoever is the best for them in that day. Or you're not really doing that. And I agree with you. Obviously, I disagree, and this is not worth us debating or going back and forth about, because I think we both kind of would just shrug and say whatever. But I would go Wade over Velasquez.
Yeah,
well.
I mean that's
I don't think it's worth a long conversation.
They're two talented defenders that have never gotten a full run at shortstop. So to say you don't. It's kind of what flavor ice cream you like.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean at this point, Jake, it's too late anyway. Like, if they do those changes for the next 13 games, like, all right, cool. You're doing shit. You put Gleyber at second base. The fan base was saying that needed to happen for 2 years. Maybe I'll give you 2019. Everyone said 2019 would be, let Gleyber play short while Didi's rehabbing, and then they'll figure it out. And I think everyone said, yeah, try it out. And then after that, before the 2020 season, they were saying, yeah, he's not a shortstop. After the 2020 season, they were saying he's not a shortstop. And now you make the move. And it's like, well, we're not smarter than you. Like, I promise you that the general casual Yankee fan, me, Jake, all of the people that listen to the show are not smarter than the analytics team. Maybe just as smart, but I'm not saying they're a group of dummies. If anything, we are, you and I. And so, like, it's not out of intelligence that they're not making this moves. It's out of pure stubbornness or not using their eyes and just looking at a computer screen. It's like, the Gleyber's not shortstop, man. I think if he gets traded to another team, I don't think they even try him out there. I remember tuning into a Mets game once, and the broadcast booth was listening all the shortstops, and Keith Hernandez was listing him, and then I think it was Darling or someone was like, "What about Gleyber?" And Hernandez was like, "Oh, great bat, but he's not a shortstop." And I took offense to it a little bit. I was like, "What?" And then it's like, well, okay, if that's how everyone sees it, and we kind of see it, like, they're just late. It's a very, very stubborn Yankees front office, and now they're with 4 weeks left and the team not making the playoffs. They're going to start listening to what people have been saying forever. Play your good guys. Like, come on. That's been the criticism of the team for 3 seasons now. We've been doing that after when they lose to bad teams nonstop. Well, I wish we would have won with our good. I wish we would have tried with our good pitchers. Wish we would have lost with our good offense. So that's one thing. But then the bats are just awful. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, that's where, I gave Tim's my MFer last episode. And again, like, we don't know what's going inside the walls, but This lineup, they're a middle of the pack baseball lineup, and it's supposed to be the strength of this team. And it hasn't been all year, so I don't really know what you do with that. It just feels like a lot of guys haven't been empowered at all. I mean, like that's where in my head, you go around the horn and you're like, where do you point the fingers? And it's like, well, Gary's offense has been solid for a catcher this year. It hasn't been special. It hasn't been bad. Rizzo, he's had ups and downs, but I don't think anyone's pointing the finger and blaming him. Voit, he's been kind of good, but he just can't get starts. Like DJ, been below average, been very much below what we've expected. Gio was hurt. He's actually swinging a nice bat now. Don't know what you do with that. Glaber, been below average on both sides all year. Judge, you can't point a finger at him. Stan, you can't point a finger at him. Guard Dog, you can't even point a finger at him right now. He's been having a great 2 months, 3 months, I think. Gallo, he turned the switch on, and then he hurts his neck. So that's the weird thing about this offense, that, no one's really willing to point the finger. I guess the two guys I just listed, one, I said I wanted him benched for multiple reasons now. The other guy, I've kind of been begging for him to be moved down the lineup because it's clear that it just hasn't been right for him this year. And he's kind of been a walking double play ball. So I don't really know. I don't really know. I would, if I was manager, which not GM, I'd bring up Velasquez, put him or Wade at short. You put DJ and Gio at their positions. You move DJ out of the leadoff spot because that really hasn't been there all year. And, it's funny, and I know John and Susan are putting on a show, but, they're talking about the excitement of Herman and Sevy potentially coming back, maybe Johnny Laza too. Doesn't really matter.
Sevy's pitching tomorrow.
It's crazy. It's crazy. That should feel so cool, and it's just like you're saying, numb. Just completely numb. Almost don't care. Almost wish it wasn't happening.
Yeah, and that's where I do feel really bad because Sevy's worked his ass off to get back and to pitch and to
two setbacks.
start his career again, and for him to be busting his ass to help the team, and me to sit here eating apples and say, "Hey, don't even worry about it, man. Just make sure you're healthy for next year," it is a bit of a jerk move by me. But yeah, I mean, hey, dude, if you're risking injury rushing yourself back for this, I don't know about it.
Because it's just not a solution. They scored 1 run today against one of the worst starting pitchers in the league.
I know, but I saw that one coming because they just don't hit pitchers they haven't seen before.
First
they
time
don't know how to
seeing
scout them.
I think we got a couple of those coming up, by the way.
Oh, who?
I think the guy's last name is Alexi, pitcher for Texas. And then Dunning, I'm not sure if they've seen him. And then
Hearn is pitching Wednesday.
Is he? They didn't have someone.
He's listed there right now on MLB.com.
Okay. John and Susan said that whatever they were looking at Wednesday was undecided. If it is Hearn, I don't know if they've seen him. Either way,
they faced him out of the bullpen earlier this year. But
so
they've seen Dunning, which is good.
I just typed Dunning into Google, that would bring anything fucking up.
No, he shut him down earlier this year.
It's Dunning Golfwear, if anyone's looking for that ad.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
ooh,
Jim,
what are you doing?
There's one thing that has brought you happiness, even recently. Magic Spoon. I think you've got some with you. I believe, and I don't want to give too much away, but your plan was to eat Magic Spoon and chew into the microphone.
Yeah, while you do the read.
Okay, so I'll give some notes. You keep doing that. If you don't know what Magic Spoon is, we've been manging to get Italian. Oh, got the laugh track going. Where's that coming from? Is that your computer, Jim?
That's my bad. My Magic Spoon cereal fell on my laugh track button.
So you were just laugh tracking us. Well, but on your way to chew into the microphone, you were laugh tracking us.
But I didn't mean to.
No.
The box, yeah.
Not at all, and that's okay.
What's this one?
Those are the crickets, sounds like.
Okay.
They're the crickets, it sounds like. Magic Spoon, It's a healthy breakfast. It's a healthy cereal if you're trying to cut down on carbs, sugar, unhealthy foods. I mean, those are the three amigos for Papi Gordo. I've been struggling with those lately because, as I've noted, when the Yankees struggle, I just eat. I'm not happy because I'm fat, and I'm fat because I'm not happy. But with Magic Spoon, you can fight that. They've got 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein. Hello. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free. Hello. And they send them over in these bundles. You could get the 4, you could get the 6. I know, Jim, didn't you get bonus boxes?
Yeah, so one, Lily Faye said, please don't chew into the microphone.
Come on.
And that she said, it's horrible. Please don't do it. It made me laugh, so I stopped. Yeah, I don't think I have any Magic Spoon doubters out there. They've never, come across and been like, Jimmy, you don't actually love Magic Spoon. But just in case any of them exist, yeah. I mean, I don't have banana because I finished it, but strawberry right there.
Boom.
Bam. Frosted right there.
Bam.
Bam.
Say bam again.
Frosted. Fruity. Bang.
Bang.
What's this one? Oh, this is all of our favorites. Maple waffle.
Oh, the M-Dub slaps.
And then my personal top of the mountain, blueberry.
Blueberry.
I'll step up. I had a doubter once.
Wow.
You did?
Yeah, they asked, is it really good, or are you just, getting paid to say it's good? It's like, no, not a joke.
For me.
Not a joke, and I know
bar.
this doesn't help the argument because it'll sound like they're paying me to say this, because they kind of are, but it is actually good. I eat it.
I mean, I'm a big, protein bar in the morning guy because it fills me up. And that's what this basically is, but in cereal form. You can put anything in cereal form. You see my Magic Spoon, Jake?
I do. It's a magic spoon, quite literally.
If I was to ever leave or walk into the kitchen and someone else was using this,
Jim, I don't want to change.
Wouldn't that be it?
People need to go to magicspoon.com/Yanks. And that's how you can check this out. You get $5 off your first order at checkout. But, Jim, I think, and not to alter the rest of your life like this, I would love if you always had the Magic Spoon on you.
I thought about putting it behind my ear like a pencil.
Yes.
If you could.
Anytime something comes up to eat, you're just like, oh. I just think that's such a power move.
Try that.
Or if you go to a restaurant, you go to, whatever restaurant you go to, they give you your food. And No, I have my own spoon. Thank you.
I'm actually going to take a bowl of chili. Hold the spoon.
Yeah.
And we know somebody that works for a company that has an item like that they bring everywhere.
Yeah.
So we can be that for Magic Spoon.
I mean, I just want it. I want it for Jimmy personally.
Yes.
Magic Spoon's the best. Magicspoon.com/Yanks. $5 off your first order.
I was told by someone that's somewhere near around the Yankees organization from afar. I don't want anyone to think it's inside the walls of Yankee Stadium.
Sure.
An ex-ball player. You wouldn't guess in a million years, so don't try. And they told me, they said, have you seen Oswald Peraza play?
A million years? I don't know.
Said, have you seen Oswald Peraza play? And I said, I haven't. He plays in high A or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, that dude is a ball player. It's like the Yankees are going to wait for that dude. He's like, he hits. He's a real hitter. He said, this is what he said. His words, not mine. He's a real hitter. Unlike Gio Glaber, he said. I said, what do you mean? Those guys are great. And he said, every day he barrels balls. No spurts, no hot streaks. Just every day he barrels balls. And DJ was that guy, and he's not this year. So they only have one of those guys. Glaber was supposed to be that guy, but the inflated balls or the whatever ball, the juice balls, turned him into a slugger.
I mean, I just want to show everybody. Here we are, a New York Yankees podcast, September 19th, and we have Jimmy O'Brien talking about the Peraza Anthony Volpe 2023 Yanks. And that's the state of affairs.
I do think that they're not going to sign the shortstop they sign isn't going to be a big deal. I think they're going to be looking for a 2-3 year deal. The same way, because we were talking about the same way they signed Russell Martin for 2, Brian McCann for 2, because Gary was in the wings. Gary's in the wings. and they got these young studs down there. So I have kind of changed my opinion on the shortstop market for the Yankees this upcoming. It's a lot of offseason talk.
Yeah, I guess the only counter to that with someone like Seager, you'd plan on them moving to third eventually. So, like, that could be your 2-3 year gap, and then he tucks over. But, yeah, cool. I hope those teams are good. Be dope.
Technically, McCann was a big contract. It was 5 years, but the rest of your point stands.
As soon as Gary came up, they just ditched him, though.
Yeah, they flipped him at the end of it. But
Deuces,
Bry.
But, I mean, that was the talk with Gary forever.
Ever.
In the wings. He's in the wings. He's in the wings. Diego Frederick Clarence says, so are we talking wild card in the chat? I don't know, man. No.
Not currently in it.
Here's my question about the wild card game.
Yeah.
And it's a question I'm trying to ask myself.
Yeah.
Will my heart flip? Will the switch get flipped in my heart if they are in the wild card game? Because right now, honest to God, I mean, you guys watched the game with me when they lost to the Orioles, and I know that our dude Joe's McFly, he's like in it still.
Yeah.
And I feel a little bad. Like, I'm like, oh shit, should I and like, you guys have watched me publicly watch games. My heart, I was making reaction videos back in August, and I just don't have it in me right now to do my live reaction. Because my live reactions are nothing, dude. I don't feel a thing about this team because why would you? I don't blame people that are still hearts on the line. I applaud you, and I'm a little jealous, but I'm also not. But if they get to that one game wild card, am I going to care? I'm interested. I'm asking myself.
Yeah, I've got two things. One, I don't know how you'd look it up, but John Gruden hugged Derek or David Carr after a long touchdown pass, and they kind of tried to do some bro guy chest bump stuff, and they basically just touched wieners. And I really like that. Follow up to you, I don't think so, and I think it's because of the conversation we just had. I think if the Yankees make a wild card, man, it's almost, I don't want to say win-win. The Yankees are in the wild card. I'm going to root for the Yankees to win, and, I root for the Yankees to win anytime they're on the field. But if the Yankees lose the one-game wild card, things are going to get really loud, and changes will have to be made where if this team goes to Game 5 of the DS again, or if they even win that and they lose the CS in 6, we're kind of back at the same square a little bit. So, and right now, this just doesn't seem like the solution. That's kind of where I said I'm at World Series or bust, which A, used to be every Yankees team goal. B, there is part of me that grew up and uses logic a little bit, and I know the Yankees can't win the World Series every year. But, man, this team has problems that need to be addressed. And, we got the CBA coming up this offseason and all of that. Hey, pee all over me, win the World Series, and I'll, John, that was my other thought. I was like, Jakey Optimist, what's my best thing we got? And I said, if the Yankees somehow went on this miracle postseason run, I was picturing John Sterling doing, the Yankeeography on this team and him being like, the offense was terrible all year. The team played bad. But in the postseason, something changed. A kid from the Bronx played shortstop. So that's kind of the best I could ever find.
Trevor May said this in reference to the Mets at the end of his most recent Chris Rose rotation episode, so that's an ad. But I guess if they get in, at this point they're gonna have to be hot getting in. So I kind of have to feel good there. And then today I got very scared that I think they're more likely to end up having to play game 163 to get into the wild card game than just get in at this point.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And I think
they're not going to be the wild card.
And both teams that they would be in a 163 with, I believe they don't have the tiebreaker over. I guess I also just don't view Oakland as a threat. But so they're going to have to go on the road for 163, and then even if you win that, then you don't have Cole in the actual wild card game. So,
How many series do we have left?
Texas, Boston, Toronto, Tampa, 4.
I don't know if I can do this. They're not going to be in the wild card game. I said it last week too, but I'm not trying. Like even like hearing BBD say like, well, if they do, it's going to be a 163, and it's like I know you're just saying the statistics, BBD. Like it's not on you. There's a lot of people on Twitter. And it's like, what is making anyone think that they're going to be in the wild card game? They had one good stretch.
Oh, I don't think they'll be there, by the way.
I know. So I wasn't like coming at you. It was just like, I wish I could be deep diving into the web of like, well, if they win this game and then they win this game and then they win this game, well, then it would be a 163 and they got to line up Cole there. And that means this guy starts this game. Like, dude, that's my most favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it. They're not good. They can't win a Cole game to beat the Indians.
Yeah.
They can't hit off a rookie pitcher who's got a 6 ERA. They can't beat the Orioles soundly. Like, I don't know. Come on. Let's be a little honest with ourselves. So I don't know what the show is, the next 4 series recaps. Do you want to do Burns? Do you have them?
Not really. I have them, but no, I think we're having better conversation with that. The only thing I will say that's on the other side of that coin, because, I mean, nothing you guys are saying is wrong. There's 3 at Boston. If the Yankees somehow found it there, which, again, there's no data point or anything I'm pointing to that's like, oh, well, the Yankees mash righties well or the Yankees do this well. No, it's just they play 3 at Boston. And if they could somehow go in there and drop Dick, I think we would feel the excitement a little bit. I think we would get that rush. But no evidence to point to that. So, yeah. And in fact, the last time we were there, I think it was as ugly as a baseball series can be played. So
let's do it. Just for my sake. Let's search for hope.
Here we go. Yeah, we got him.
If we're not going to do Burns, we'll do some awards at the end of the show. I got 2 more apples here. Because I had 3 apples. I was going to eat an apple per burn. Just speed eat them like a squirrel.
You want me to speed through all 3 and you just eat 3 apples?
I only got 2 left.
Okay.
And I made them smaller as they went because I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like the first one I just ate was big, and then medium, and then like a tiny little apple.
Sure.
It was going to be really funny. But whatever.
If you want to keep looking for a thing of hope, I have the first one because I did do the lineup game.
ABD, you want to go on apple detox diet with me?
Don't do it. No.
I'm down to try anything like that. But Cole is if he pitches every 5th day, not every 5th game, he is lined up for a game 163 if it happens on normal rest and wild card game on an extra day of rest. So first hope thing done.
No, I appreciate that. I want to find out just the pitching. Just who are we playing and what's the pitching?
What's the current question? The upcoming rotation?
Yeah.
So we play 3 at home versus the Texas Rangers. It's Nestor Cortez Jr., Monty, and Kluber. Versus Alexi, Dunning, and maybe Hearn.
Nestor, Monty, Kluber.
Yeah.
So is he a Bolt guy tomorrow?
That's the only part where the Boone quotes got weird. They said you can expect 1 to 3 innings from Sevy, which it's like, oh, so that's almost not information. And again, I know you and I have had the conversation a lot of times. Like, if you're gonna use Sevy for 2-3 innings, and again, we don't know where Nestor's role would lie. Even if we made a playoff series, why wouldn't I'd go Sevy to Nestor? But that's a whole nother story. So we'll see. Hopefully there's some Sevy excitement tomorrow. But yeah, Nestor to Sevy would seem like the plan.
All right. I would go Nestor to Sevy at this point. You need, like, Mike King kind of saved us. Like, I wish we didn't lose King. I think it's paramount to have a long man, and the Yankees went through the dog days of summer without a long man. The only long men they had were short guys that they would burn out, like Wandy and Litke, and they'd throw them for 3, and they're not made for 3, and they just burnt them out. Or they constantly went Laza and Chad for 2. So losing Herman and King, I think, are like actually 2 overlooked, really, really brutal losses for those dog days of summer and what happened to the bullpen. So having Kinger back and just being able to eat 3 innings in a losing effort or a winning effort is amazing.
Yeah.
And I hope Cashman, Brian, my good friend, you're listening to this and you agree with me. And you already know that. But let's have Longman in the bullpen next year.
I mean, to be fair, I think they wanted Longman, but they were just hurt.
Oh, they traded Sessa.
Yeah, but they didn't even use him as a Longman this year.
They could have kept Heel around when he wasn't getting starts. That was like the desperate stretch.
Yeah. It's a whole nother convo with Heel, but.
All right. Nestor, Monty, Kluber. That's Texas. Then after that, is Tyone coming back?
So that's the interesting question. There's rumors about that because Friday was the first Boston game, and the Yankees don't have a starter listed. Because let's say if Tyone can, that would be Tyone, Cole, Nestor.
Tyone, Cole, Nestor for Boston?
Yeah.
And could you maybe go Sevy again there? There's no off day in between, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know what the plan is with Sevy. If he's going to be pitching 2 innings and 40 pitches, when's his next throw day?
It sounds like they sent down Clark 10 minutes ago,
Yeah.
so I assume that means it is Sevy tomorrow. They had earlier just said sometime this week, so I'm guessing we'll see him tomorrow. You figure at least 3 days between his first
That's
time
what I
back.
don't know. Are they going to... If they're gonna limit his bullets, which I think at this point in the season is fine, but you still have to be able to use him every 3rd day. Like you can't have Sevy be a 40 inning every 5-day guy.
Yeah, it would be like 30 pitches every 3 days.
Yeah,
like Chad in 17. All right. Have we heard any news on Laza?
He threw.
Yeah, I think yesterday he threw.
But I think
he
it was
literally had a catch.
Yes, and I think there is no bad reports from that. So probably next is mound, and then we'll see.
So someone in the chat, BS in the chat, said when Severino last pitched, it was a whole different world. LOL. And
Literally,
it's true. He's a pre-COVID player.
Quite literally.
That's crazy.
So some like 700 something days. That's crazy, man.
We were on
Baseball's
the RV when he got hurt.
brutal.
Nestor, Monty, Kluber. Then for Boston, Tyone, Cole, Nestor. Then they play Toronto after Boston.
Toronto after Boston, which would be Monty, Kluber, Tyone, if Tyone did slot into that spot. And then you'd finish Cole, Nestor, Monty. So.
And Herman's coming back too?
I think so. I think later this week. Was that? I don't know if it was official.
I forget dates, but he's soon.
They wanted him to pitch one more time, I think. I think.
Don't know when that one more time is supposed to happen.
I have one more exercise I want to do. I don't know if people are enjoying this or not.
Well, before we get to your final exercise, Jim, can I talk to you about Topps NFTs?
Or come.
Jim, I'm in the NFT game. Cards, horses. Not supposed to talk about. No, I'm not into your. What did you call your NFT? JOMFT?
The Joms.
The Joms. We're not here to talk about the Joms. We are here to talk about Topps 2021 NFT collection, ToppsNFTs.com. What? All the packs sold out in 2 hours? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you missed out, don't worry. You can still get in the action at ToppsNFTs.com. The marketplace. It is a marketplace. The world is a marketplace. Kind of heavy if you think about it. You can buy individual ones or unopened packs with the biggest names in baseball, all in one convenient location. For those who did not manage to get MLB Inception NFTs, you can easily list your individual cards or packs for sale. The market's hot. We told you about the listing, so if you missed that, you kind of have to eat bugs. For more information on this, visit ToppsNFTs.com. DraftKings.com/marketplace. Select the MLB Inception filter to see what's available. Man, I know your Joms are cool, but if I have to pick, I go with the Topps NFTs. Go check them out. You know Topps. I mean, they're top. They're the Topps. A couple people tweeted that at me. I was pretty happy. My first 24 hours in New Paltz, that was the Topps. The drive home today was the reverse Topps.
It was not Topps.
It was Topps, not. So go check out Topps. Borat reference, classic. ToppsNFTs.com/marketplace. Jim, what were you saying?
Dude, this apple is a Topps. These apples, Topps.
Yeah?
Fresh apples, man.
Because you said it was a little early in the season.
It was like 82 degrees, which is not apple picking
That's
weather.
what it was. Okay.
My mom was like, you got to go early to get all the good apples. Then my mom was feeling under the weather, so she didn't even come with us. I had a great time with my nephews. I posted it on
It's good content.
Instagram. I think it's
good content.
I think it's like 4 years running where I do Apple reviews on my Insta story.
Sure.
I like the type of apple because when you go apple picking, you get to try all the different types of apples and you get to see how wildly different they all taste. And the last tree we got to was like, oh, this is what I like. I like the type of apples that make you drool all over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Juicy. I don't like.
You were leading
Red
us to
Delicious.
something. Do you want to talk about that? Do you know what it was?
Yeah, it was my big exercise.
Your big exercise. That's right.
Yeah, it's the Topps
Sorry, I got lost in the Joms and the Tops and all that. So.
and the juice of it all.
And honestly, I got hot for a second because Llewellyn was at the Saturday's game, and I forgot how sad that made me feel for a second. That was
Dude, I felt so bad.
That was the effort they gave Llewellyn. I was so mad about that. And then I just had flashbacks to earlier this year when they were doing Hope Week, and they had the old lady Batgirl. Who they were like, we were so mean to this woman. We said a lady could never be a Batgirl, so we invited her through, and they shit the bed that day. Stop letting people down. Your big exercise.
Dude, that was so weird. That was the most Mets the Yankees have ever been. Yeah. This little girl wanted to be a Batgirl back in 1960s, and we said no because we were sexist.
A lady?
But guess what?
A lady
But
being
guess
a
what?
Batgirl?
It's 2020 now, and we're sorry. What, guys? No need to publicize that apology. Send it to every girl that you were an asshole to.
Yeah.
That was so weird. Exercise. Per my records, Herman, Severino, Tyone, Loaizaga, 4 pitchers joining the roster before the season ends. Severino already joined. We'll say he's the move for Clark. They kind of told us that.
Makes sense.
So, who is the move for Tyone, Laza, and Herman? Chapman's staying. Chad's staying. Holmes is staying. Wandy's staying. Joely, I think he's staying. Litke's staying. King should stay.
At some point, Heen Dog.
Crux of this exercise. That's like the end of the last paragraph.
Yeah, I mean, I do. So here are your other options.
Abreu.
Abreu is an option. Again, he was kind of fell into a high leverage role. He earned it with pretty much one game. That extra inning White Sox game that seems forever ago. The other thing that they could do is you could burn out King one day, and then you bring one of those other guys back. So I think those are probably your options there. Florial's still on the roster right now, so that's also a move.
Florial's been on the bench for all these games?
They brought him
Brought him
up
up this morning.
today.
Oh, okay.
Forget who they swapped them.
So it would
for,
be
but-
Florial. Yeah, you wonder if Heen Dog. I don't know. I can't. No comment.
No, that's the exercise.
Yeah.
Jake. The exercise is
Will Andrew Heaney make it through the end of the season?
yes. And the only reason he will, if he does. Okay, so I have a thesis.
Okay. This is huge.
No, not a thesis.
A thesis.
What's it called when I say? I'll just say it, and then you guys tell me what it's
Okay,
called.
huge.
Proclamation, declaration.
Are you thinking of hypothesis?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm thinking of hypothesis.
Well, say it.
Basically,
Yeah, we'll get there.
all the stuff I opened the show with, like I want the Yankees to admit. They don't need to say it publicly, but with actions that these 3 years and the new philosophy that they've been trying since Boone came and they've been changing everything.
Right.
It doesn't work. I want them to admit it doesn't work.
Right.
If they don't DFA Heaney and they ride their stubbornness into the offseason, there will be no changes. There will be nothing. Strap in for 4 more, 3 more seasons of this same philosophy. Not getting fat on bad teams, resting players, not putting your best effort on day games after night games, all the shit that leads to just a down season will happen again if Heaney finishes the season on the team. If they swallow their pride,
Right.
admit bad trade, probably should have done this earlier. We got better options coming, and DFA Heaney, then maybe there's hope for a change.
Okay.
Because he gave up another home run. They put him in, he gave up another home
Yeah.
run. And it's the most stubborn roster management anyone's ever participated in.
Yeah, I mean, so Clark for Sevy. That's like done. Transaction done.
Yep.
Abreu
and King, I can see them because they have options.
So we have Florial, which is like they've shown that he's the low man on their totem pole. They've never shown any sign of affection for Florial.
Okay, so Sevy for King, Herman or Herman if he's next, Herman for Florial, Laza for Abreu, Tyone for King. Heaney stays.
That's dark.
Nothing changes. No one cares.
You don't. Heaney Abreu. I think there's a chance there. I feel like they're starting to like Abreu.
There's a chance, dude.
Yeah.
It
should be the logic.
Sports.
Yeah. Okay.
It is logic. I mean, it should have happened a while ago. I mean, once King came back, you didn't need Heaney anymore.
Right.
I mean, that should have been like the final straw.
Yeah.
How many outings does Heaney have now?
Heen, dog, our guy. With the Yankees, he has 12 appearances.
How many home runs has he given up?
He has given up 13 home runs. It's a little 1.09 home runs per appearance.
How many innings?
35.2.
So 35.33. Oh, let's do 13 divided by 35.33.
It's a 7.07 ERA.
So he gives up a third of a home run an inning. So if he pitches 3 innings, he's going to give up a home run.
Bingo.
Guy hasn't been good, huh?
It hasn't clicked with the Yanks. That's what I'll say.
Entered the game. Start. Bottom of the 5th in a tie game.
Yeah. That's a bad one.
7th inning, up 3.
Not good.
9th, down 4. Fair. Fair.
Kinda, yeah. I don't think we were fair at the time.
No, because that was
Yeah.
a winnable game.
It was not fair at
Yeah,
the time.
top of the order coming up. 9th inning, down 2.
We were not happy with that one.
Bottom 5, bases loaded, down 2. 7th inning, down 4. And then finally, 6th inning, down 8. The first actual slop time. Unbelievably stubborn. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they may ride, because you can DFA him because, it's not like it's the end of the year anyway.
Right.
He's a free agent at the end of the year anyway, so you're just going to lose him a couple games early. But that's what I'm saying, man. If he lasts the full season, like something's going on.
Yeah.
If he lasts the full season, it's deeper than whatever it is. I don't even know.
Looks like he's had 5 appearances where he didn't give up a home run, and only one of them he completed more than 2 innings. So if he gives you any length at all, he's given up homers. And even when he doesn't, he's been bad. The worst.
Crazy. All right. You want to do awards? Kind of have to for record.
Yeah, we can do awards. And awards are brought to you by Match 5 Trivia.
I love Match 5
We
Trivia.
do love Match 5 Trivia. If you guys haven't seen us play, we play on JJR almost every week. It's a simple game. It's anyone can play instantly. I'm a classic. I think everyone here, John, BBD, I think we're all classic. You explain the rules about a game, and then you say, let's play a little bit of the game, and you'll figure it out. Match 5, you can actually explain it. There is a host who gets a card. That's name your least favorite 5 relievers in the Yankees bullpen.
Oh, no.
And then you have to write down if I'm the host, you have to write down who I think are the 5 least. We won't play right now. BBD, you've got a better example.
I have a bunch of cards in front of me.
Give me
I
an
pulled
example.
one out at random, and it was named 5 theme parks.
I was going to say apples.
We can play
6
apples.
Flags. What's that? Is it Cedar Point? Is that the famous one in Ohio?
Yep. Adventureland from the movie.
Is Disneyland? Which one?
Yeah. Universal. Disney.
So basically, you take turns being the host.
Everybody
Jake was
writes
the host.
down
I'd
their
write down
5.
Quasi, shout out, ad. If you're ever in the beautiful,
where you got fingered for the first time.
that's not true. That is not true. I told you one of the first times. Save 15% on your order now when you use coupon code JOMBOY, 15% off. Honestly, it's match5 the number, match5trivia.com, 15% off when you use code JOMBOY. It's a lot of fun. It's a good with friends. We played with like so many people when we were at JM Beach Week. I mean, how big was that round? Is that 18 people?
I was going to say conservatively a 15-person game.
So, yeah, you can play with 3 to 25 people. After 25, it gets a little ruckus. But go check them out.
Small apple's the worst of the bunch by far. It's also green. I think it's a Granny Smith. Boring.
Go easy on Granny Smith.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
Jake, you're first.
Holy
How about
cow. Partially
Give it to me.
partially due to my relationship with the big man upstairs.
Our neighbor?
We haven't met them. I'd like to.
Me?
Man, I think I'm giving it to Gio.
Wow. Wow.
Just because he's looked good. I mentioned it with my last award, like the premature thing we talked about, which kind of ties into the Kwasi situation. Gio, man, like, sometimes we get lost in the scope of everything that goes on in the season, and I get it. I'm a week and a half from being like, is this a kind of a lost season for Gio? Now he's our starting shortstop. OPS is back in the sevens. It's low sevens. But man, his at bats have looked so much more like Gio Urshela. Not including today. He was on a little, 5 games, just a little hot streak, and he's playing the best shortstop we've seen in a little bit, and little asterisk on top of that. He's a third baseman. So, I don't know. I'd love to get, like, Gio, when you go through the Yankees lineup and things that feel right, like Gio in the 8-9 spot, just barreling a couple balls. Like barreling one ball a night, Gio from the bottom of the lineup, like that feels right. So I don't know. Gio's look fine, and like he's not the problem. Love you, Gio.
So that's your pride of the
Cute.
Yankees. You're not going to give it to me.
Love to see him back at third.
Do it. Mine's Mike King.
Mike King.
Looks nasty, dude. He's throwing the clue ball now.
Yeah.
Which I think I might be breaking. Is that me breaking a story?
I think he was talking about your breaking pitch. I think it's the clue ball.
No, his.
Yeah. Well, you guys pitched the
Is
same,
it-
I thought.
Oh, so I sent him the video of our sinkers, and I said I'm looking for a pitching coach. He said those are the exact same video, and then I said now I just need that slider you were slinging the other day, and he said that's the Kluber ball! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! I said wow. I said yeah. Baseball Savant has half your sliders and half curves. And when you click the videos, they look the same. So I was like, yeah, baseball Savant like doesn't have it figured out yet. And he was like, yeah, I started throwing it mid-June. So Savant probably has it, just like doesn't know what it is yet. But that's his new little slider pitch, is the Kluber ball. Kluber teaching pitches.
Like that.
He looks good out of the pen. And he just pounds the zone. He gets like results. What's his stats on the year?
He is 17 games, 6 starts. So that's 11 games out of the bullpen. 3.36 ERA. 56.1 innings. A really solid year from Mike King.
Dude, what are his splits? I know that people didn't like his starting splits. But after these couple reliever outings, his reliever numbers have to be nuts, right? Yeah. 1.71 ERA as a reliever.
Yeah.
In his 11 games, 31 innings. I think he's going to be a huge piece of next year. So he's my pride of the Yankees. He's right now. I'd tune in to watch some of his innings.
Right.
He's on like a list right now just because he's kind of like, back and he's doing it. But the two-seamer's nasty. Ever since Bartolo Colon, that's been my favorite pitch. So.
And by the way, on talking Yanks, part of the reason Mike King won us over, he came on. He's been really cool with us. He was an awesome interview. Like, you could probably re-listen to that interview right now, and you'd be like, damn, he's kind of the man. And we asked him why he was so open in his press conference, and it ties to his family and stuff. I won't give it all away if you don't know. But if you remember in his starts, he said like he wasn't throwing his best stuff to beat hitters because he was saving it for a second time around. And it was like, my king, my guy, maybe give him the goods or give him a little bit of the goodies the first time through, because that plan didn't work. But that's the young development of a pitcher.
You would like to set them up for the next time he was going to face them.
Yeah.
That was also what Davey did last year.
Yeah. Davey was sicko crew. Just all fastballs. What are you doing, kid?
4 apples down.
4 apples in this episode. What are we doing? Yankee MFer?
Yeah.
You Yankee motherfucker.
Hit me with your best shot.
Hit me with your best shot. You guys drinking tonight?
16 text messages.
Whoa, flexing on them.
Oh shit! They found Gabby's van.
That's huge.
BBD, you been following that story? I know you like crime.
Not closely. It got on my radar yesterday, and I did see a tweet about them finding that about 10 minutes ago.
I mean, I'm going Glaber. It's almost no fault of his own at this point, but he's basically getting it because it's like it's just always on my mind. Like kind of what you're saying about some of the emotions of the season. Like I get it. Like I was, when I'm missing parts of Yankees game now, like my heart used to like thump. Kind of doesn't anymore. It's just like it's on my mind. It's on my mind. I don't want it to be on my mind.
Okay. Deserved.
Yeah.
It's taking up too much real estate in your mind.
Yeah. I like it empty up there. Don't think.
I'll go on the same boat. It's Gary.
He's
He's having a bad second half. That drop pop up. I'm on the record saying that home runs are home runs. Pitchers still got to get the guy out. It's nice if he catches the ball that lands right over his head.
Big time.
Yeah. Yep. And Booney said that they're basically going to split time. Or he's going to ride the hot hand. Or whatever. We'll see. Okay. I mean, some question marks. Because, hey, I love our guy Higgy. He's not exactly a great defensive catcher. He's not exactly. Both of them are good. Gary hasn't been like bad this year. Gary is going into Glaber territory where it's just like slips of the brain.
Yeah.
Which I blame coaching on just as much as talent. Like they're just day in, day out, like not prepared to like be in the game. But like with pass balls and wild pitches, I don't know the numbers on it, but I feel like I see BBD tweet all the time his sarcastic tweets about if that was Gary. So I don't know what the Yankees are going to do next year.
There's been so many of the real and not real, if that happened with Gary tweets this year, that it's like Gary's mental gaffes are in an area that Higgy would never enter.
Yeah, he's more
but
focused.
on a day-to-day, like they've been like
The same.
same.
And I don't even think it's awful around the league. I just don't think it's. I think neither are getting like praise. Higgy's very good at pitch framing.
Higgy's good at
and
one
and,
thing.
and giving a target, but as far as like blocking and stuff, they've both kind of been the same. But it's scary for me because the mental gaps and you got to hit really good. And he was in the first half for a catcher, but now it's not there.
Gets that home run robbed by Cedric Mullins, and what does
Right.
that do to a player's psyche?
Then they got the other robbed after that, the hard shot.
Adam Engel robbed Greg Bird. Never played again.
Oh,
Think about it a lot.
That was his last like
Not really,
time
but
playing.
there is like a not insignificant part of my heart that believes like, oh, if Greg Bird got that homer
Yeah.
in Chicago, he'd have been a major leaguer.
Shit.
it's a sick sport, man.
The last
Um,
week has been Gary's
okay.
worst defensive week in a long time.
Can we do math for real
That's
quick?
what we're good at, baby. Yeah. Let
I'm
me know
gonna
if you need
do
help.
Okay. It's pass balls plus wild pitches. I'm just doing both of them
Sure.
together. divided by innings caught this
Okay.
season. I don't know if that's the best way to do it.
Doesn't seem like the best.
Well, this
but
this is 0.07 pass ball plus wild pitch in inning.
for which one?
That's your job to guess.
Boy. 0.7
other
an inning?
is
Or a game?
0.07.
0.07.
An inning. An inning. Game's hard.
Good math.
Thank you. The other is 0.04. Gary's worse. Gary has 7 pass balls. Higgy has 4.
Okay.
Gary's caught in 102 games. Higgy's caught in 60. So pass ball wise, it's not that. That's pretty the same. They both can't throw runners out. How about that? Gary's throwing runners out at 17% clip. What happened to that? Oh, I know, because they have him on his knee now.
Yeah.
Gary threw out. He was an elite
Thrower.
run stopper. He couldn't block, but he could throw runners out. In 16, he threw runners out at a 41% clip. That's really high. In 17, he threw runners out at a 38% clip. He threw 23 guys out.
Yeah.
As the pass balls have gone down because they've changed the way he catches, he just doesn't throw runners out. He has 17% this year. He's at 16. So Gary's the MFer. I don't know what they're going to do about catching next year. I think they're going to bring in some veterans to battle it out in camp.
Yeah.
Yes,
You got a regular old
talking about
award?
my dad a little bit, and it's like, well, if Gary finishes the season kind of hot and then gets to 25 homers, he's coming off a 25 homer season at catcher. All of a sudden, his ARB number gets kind of high, and the Yankees might be like, well, that's kind of too much, and then it's just weird choices. I think they bring him back, but I don't know.
That's
Bigger
almost
conversation for another day.
Yeah, we'll have some off-season talk. That's almost a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation. Like if he does good and the ARB number goes up, but yeah, do good, Gary. 3 at Fenway. Where's David Price? Good award, Jim.
Yeah, I thought really hard about it.
That's good.
Thank you. Do you have a regular old award?
Good awards.
Regular old award.
I'm gonna give out the Talkin Yanks 2023 award.
Oh shit! Volpe's getting an award.
Whoa.
Are you serious, dude?
Is that your official guess?
Yes.
It is not Volpe.
That's nuts.
Jim,
Really
you mentioned with your pride, you gave your pride of the Yankees to Mike King, correct?
Michael King.
Part of that, me and his two-seamer look alike. Yours and his kind of look alike, too. And you mentioned his slider, and he said he's throwing the Kluber ball. And I hope in 2023 we're talking about Mike King and how good he's looked with that Kluber ball at slider. So shout out to Corey Kluber, who, by the way, had a really nice start this series. 6 innings, shutout. It's kind of funny. It is against the lowly hitting Indians that have been, no hit 3 times this year, and he got the Judgy double play and all that. But, hey, it was a nice start against a bad team, and how many times have we talked about the Yankees not being able to do that? That's part of the reason this whole episode has been a miss. So, good job, Corey, and hey, maybe pass something cool on to Mike King, who I believe in.
I hope he did. Obviously everyone knows I'm a butthead about Kluber. When we did our exercise, he's getting starts against Boston or Toronto, right?
I think he's got Texas and Toronto.
Lined up for the last game of Texas right now, misses Boston, Toronto, yes.
I'd like to see him against a good team. Because I think he's been bad against good teams, and then he's been fantastic against bad teams.
Sure.
and his numbers look good. But like I think he's, he faced the Tigers back in May, 8 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. He no-hit the Rangers. He goes 6 shutty against the Indians. And those are like his good starts. If you butter knife it, I think if you go like, if he's above average offenses, I don't think he's been good. So I'd like to see him against Boston or Toronto if we do make a wild card, if we do get to the DS, to see, because it's almost like throwing him to the slaughter. If in the playoffs, if he's hasn't had results against those teams, but
yeah, it's. I mean, you're right. It's he's had 3 starts against Toronto, which that's surprising. 2 of them were in April, and where they had him on a pitch count, blah blah blah. But yeah, there's 3 starts against Toronto, like 1 against Tampa, which again they're not an offensive juggernaut. And then there's like an Atlanta start in there, which was 4.22. Yeah, I mean, I think if you and I overlap on 95% of stuff, Kluber's been the most 5% this season, and it's like, yeah, and hey, hopefully he gives us a couple big dick starts down the stretch and we can say some nice things. But how many of these Yankee guys are we yelling at because they haven't beaten up on the bad team? So,
well, yeah, but that's 2 different.
A little bit.
I want him to get fat, but I'm individual basis. You want him to be able to beat the good offenses.
Well, I hope he have a good Toronto start. If the Yankees somewhere get near a DS, let's find out if he can earn that 10 mil. But I don't know if the rest of the team's going to get him there.
Yeah, it's true. I'm going to give out the Honeycrisp award.
Okay. It's not an Apple thing, is it?
What, dude?
That's not related to apples, is it?
What are you talking about?
I'm just asking questions.
Are you serious?
I thought we were doing 20 questions real quick.
And it goes to Joey
Gallo.
Yeah. Because much like a good apple, you gotta be very careful because they bruise easily and they get hurt quick. And when an apple reaches its pinnacle of crispness, you gotta max it out because it's gonna sour. And Joey Gallo finally gets as hot as he's ever been as a Yankee. And then he's out. Got bruised up. It's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah. Where did the Boone quotes finally land on him? Like
he's fine. He should be playing
okay,
tomorrow.
That's what I thought, but I want to double check that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, hey, dude, he was hitting.
Yeah. He got hot. And these games, in theory, mattered.
He's with us tomorrow.
Man, he's going to end up
next year, I meant.
It's such a weird-looking season. 40 homers. It's going to be like a 5-WAR season, and we're going to talk all offseason like, I don't know.
I know.
He's broken baseball a little bit.
A little bit.
To be fair, we like Joey Gallo, right?
Yeah, I got no real
like
qualms.
It's not effort. It's nothing like that. He just plays kind of a different sport.
It's style of play that I'm just not like sold on yet, you know? Because it's the same thing I was saying earlier. Like, there's a difference between bunches and like this guy's gonna help you every day.
God, he's a weird ball player.
Yeah. Truly is. Honeycrisp is my favorite kind of apple for everyone wondering.
It's big.
It is. you know?
Bigly.
It is, and I appreciate that you admit that it's big.
Are we doing another award?
Do you want to? You don't have one?
It's a little worn out. I mean, I can give one.
You do you. You do you.
You do you.
Sounds like you don't have
I'm
one.
giving the Fun to Watch award.
Oh. Okay. Litke.
You kind of alluded to this. I forget if it was last episode or another one. And it actually ties into your Mike King. Like, he's a little bit of appointment television on the Yankees. Like, you kind of sit up in your seat to watch him. That's Stanton for me. He only had 2 hits, and they were both homers. And, dude, the way he hits them, like, it's so cool. It just really is.
I was so earnest.
Dude, it is. Like, we're, we've stumbled in this world of baseball that we might be talking about it for the next 40 years for you, 2.5 for me. That, like, I think when we're old men, we're going to talk about the way Giancarlo Stanton hit a baseball, and people are going to be like, shut up, old man, and we're kind of going to be right.
Like, no, it was different. Put your foot like that, face over there, and now swing kind of down like this. Like, that's not how he swung, Grandpa. That is not how anyone's ever swung to hit a home run.
This is exactly what's going to happen. In 30 years, they're going to open up the YouTube clip or whatever YouTube is then, and they're going to see Giancarlo Stanton's batting stance, and they're going to be like, Grandpa, why the fuck are you making me watch this? And then they're going to see the ball explode, and they'll be like, all right, Gramps, you got one.
Yeah.
Stop telling me about Chase and Shreve, but you're right about Stanton.
You got baby.
Can you hit the passing button? I have a little bit of breaking news.
Passing.
I know where Chase and Shreve's going to be tonight.
Where?
He is going to a 311 concert with Cole Tucker.
Hell yes, dude.
Nothing I say should be important to anyone.
Yeah.
It's
Glad I got
badass.
to give that award.
All right,
what do you got?
I've got stuff.
I butter-knifed Kluber's
Okay.
numbers. Against teams that have a 100 OPS plus or higher. He has a 5.21 ERA.
Against teams below?
So-
we don't have
So
that.
above average offenses over a 5 ERA.
Yes. I can try and do below real quick,
Do whatever feels right.
but I just don't trust him yet. I don't know why. And I don't even know, like, what is the plan if they get to the DS, which I don't even think they're going to get to the wild card.
Yeah.
But here I am talking myself into it. Like, what would the plan be? Is Tyone going to start?
That's a great question.
Who started the 4th most games for the Yankees this year? Nestor?
No idea. Cole won.
Domingo got a lot of starts for a while.
Cole, Monty, Tyone, Domingo 18, Kluber 14, Nestor 11.
So Nestor 4?
Nestor 6.
Nestor 6. Close.
Oh.
We're close.
That's wild.
Wow.
Do we remember? Wild. What, did we do the, what was the over-under on how many people will start this year? Do we remember that? Wasn't that part of our episode?
Probably.
I can find out if you want to do an award in the meantime.
Jim, what's your award?
How many people have started?
15.
Dude, go look at the Dodgers. Go look at the Dodgers. How many Dodgers have started? I did this. I don't think I tweeted it out. I was going to do trivia. It's the Dodgers or the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers have started like 20-something pitchers.
19.
19. 19.
They have
But that's high. 15 is high. Like 19, I think, is the highest by a lot.
They have eight.
A lot of
Yeah,
openers.
they have 8 guys with 1 start who I think they went through a huge bullpen only phase pretty much.
8 guys with only one
Yeah.
start. Wow.
Haven't found that over under yet, but one of our over unders was 12.5 sad puppy dog errors from Glaber. 12.5. But you guys both said the under.
That sucks. We were so
Well,
upset.
no, we were right because he hasn't really been sad this year. I think he's been sad twice.
He was pretty sad when he got. benched for not running the field. He looked like he didn't even. Understand like that could happen.
He doesn't.
Kluber's ERA against teams that are below average offensively, 3.12. That probably adds up for a lot of good pitchers. Your good hitter, good teams are going to get you more. But he has what's his ERA in the season? I thought it was better than that.
3.68.
He's got like 3 games. So good. They're like the opposite of our stat that we do.
Jimmy might need. I think you're roboing.
Oh, whatever. Play these outro music. My next award goes to BBD, best producer in the business.
BBD award, best producer in the world. We'll see you guys.
Fucks up the outro.
Oh, Yankees.
We'll see you guys Tuesday. High noon. Who knows what we'll be saying? Guess you'll have to tune in.